Well, it is time to do a little bit of a combined review here for Ricky's Reviews and Ricky's Review Retro. So both the Swedish and the English listeners will be listening in at the same time, and we're going to review the game Pokemon Black and White 2. So why English? Well, basically it is because I've gotten a request on this, so we'll keep it like this for now. And I mean, I'm here to please the people who are listening to what I do. So Pokemon, the series, is enormous by now. Everyone probably has some kind of relation to this game series or the anime series or every toy and card and whatever there is. And the craze started, like, for me at least, when back in the 90s when I was a little child playing the first games on my Game Boy, the red and the blue, and well, basically the craze about RPGs kinda began there at that era for most people, with the releases of a lot of games and the knowledge about a lot of games like Pokemon, like Final Fantasy VII, like Chrono Trigger, and then it escalated and people started thinking about the games from the Japanese region and the RPGs we did not get and stuff like that. But Pokemon has taken ups and downs from then. Most core concepts do not change, however, and even though they have been a steady high point in the portable library from like Game Boy to Game Boy Advance and DS and stuff, I would like to say that as have been there since the beginning, have not been interested in like all of the products from Pokemon, even though Pokemon has been a branch which has branched out into a lot of different things, whereas there is a lot to to look at and so many different things that some are really good and some are less good. But the core concept never really changed in the main series, so to speak, and they are still there with the RPG elements. So Pokemon Black and White 2 is the first real sequel to another game. We basically get to play with a lot of the different characters from the previous game and the same region, of course, and the story takes place with a lot of the same like objectives and missions about what will happen next to this world, so to speak. And as usual, you start your journey with a core Pokemon and want to become a good trainer, and you get dragged into something that is a bit bigger. And the story concept actually takes on a bit of a turn in this game for me. Going into the game, I was pretty skeptical, and I must say that there are a lot of the old cliches here. Easy Japanese dialogues, flat characters, and a lot of things just doesn't really speak out to the more adult side of people, but the core morals is there, and I mean the core morals are easily forgotten in games, and to be able to talk about like how values and stuff in the core is inside a world like this is something they do really good in this game. And to be fair, a lot of games need this, and Pokemon does it well. And when you go a little bit further, it actually advances and the story becomes everything from tragic to really emotional. And even if it has ups and downs inside the game itself, the story is easily to follow, together with the fact that you're going to run around and catch all the Pokemons. Gameplay wise, it's not much changed, but they have fired up a lot of features in the game that has been known before, and it works well. Catching Pokemon is easy, the touchscreen display is really good. I think that mostly the controls work well, and it's really fast to grind this game, and getting all the Pokemons leveling up. Everything speaks for itself, and you can get so much knowledge, and if not online with different sources and the online capabilities, you have like hours and hours of really good gameplay to go from what is a Pokemon core concept. So if you look at it like that, if you like Pokemon since before, this is, however, the ultimate Pokemon experience up until now. And I must say that I have actually gotten myself deeper in the Pokemon game this time than what I have in a long time. The improved graphics, the way that they use it to create some cool special effects, especially in the gyms, which is basically the basis of a core experience in Pokemon. So what you do is you run around, you level up your Pokemons, you catch new ones, and you go through these 8 gyms and then the Pokemon League, and you follow a story by the side of that. And so if you were a fan of the old series where you met Team Rocket, here you play as, against another team, which has another liberation ideal. And Black and White, what it kind of says in the title, kind of reflects how the values and morals are reflected in the core. So story-wise, gameplay-wise, and graphic-wise, they improved and upped on a lot of these things, and that is why I think they have made a big change in the series, even though you are really familiar with what you get. And to tell you the truth, if you feel that like they only up a little bit of things, well, think again, because it is so much to do in a game like this. And if you're a fan of playing a type of game like this, if you have waited a couple of years now, you have your like 70, 80 hours flat out for you. Like me spending 40 or something just to get to where I was, when I felt that I've done everything that I wanted to do, I could easily spend 50, 60 hours more, and also having like the ambition to battle other players, trading, catching the Pokemons that I really do want, breeding the ones that you really like for what they are. There are so many cool Pokemons and features by now that basically this is like a product that every fan of this kind of gameplay should have. Well, as I see it though, the core mechanics and the core RPG elements, those are intact, and it's one of the deepest experiences in that kind of gameplay in the world. So it is no secret that the Pokemon series has taken a really big step upon becoming like a dominant force in the RPG world. However, there are things that take the game down to a little bit of a lower level than what I've been speaking about now. The core itself is so well known that sometimes you might feel that you as a fan would have expected that they address some of those problems that you had since recent times. And also, like, it is a Nintendo game, they do have some flaws that they have to work with what they get, and Pokemon could use new features to expand on the concept a little bit more to be able to do something that is completely new. However, this is not really something to say that a game itself is worse than what it could be. It's just that if you're thinking like, oh, they update the game, it's basically the same as before but a little bit new, oh, well then the problem is that maybe it's not possible at the moment to do that. So it's a little bit of a mixed feeling there. Me personally also have a little bit of a gripe with that there are some functionality that aren't really explained that well. There are things that you have to explore just to find out, or as me, having people around me that knows about this, having a Bulbapedia to tell me about things, and these are also part of the experience. And I would say that sometimes I like it and sometimes I don't. Like, having the information source gathered somewhere is of course a feature that is like double-sided, and it depends on what type of gameplay you are looking for when you're playing a game. The biggest gripe, like in what they have here in the design that they could do something about, that I really do think that they should do something about, is like the how they present music and how they make you feel like this is actually fresh and new. Because I feel that I've been stepping away a couple of times from the series, and I didn't play Black and White. So me coming into this story, of course, I didn't expect to get pulled in as I did. But then again, like, where did I leave off? Well, as I played Pearl, I also played a bit of Soul Silver. I didn't see the big difference from those two from each other, and I do see a couple of big differences here. But in the music department and the sound and that overall feel, well, especially with just music and sound, but the overall feeling, just give me something that feels different. And I like it that there are some places where I still remember soundtracks from in the game in itself, but telling you now that you'll be dragged into this, like the experience, what you will be is you'll be talking about how many of the legendaries you caught, how much you leveled up, how you beat your league, how you've been spending hours and hours and hours catching stuff and just doing the core what Pokemon is really about. And to be fair, that is what Pokemon aims to. Of course, the game isn't for everyone. You already know if you don't like the whole core concept of Pokemon. And of course, then these games aren't really what you're looking for, and therefore they haven't changed anything that will make you get dragged into it. But if you have any kind of RPG experience and just want to do it that way, this is the game you should get for the DS. I give it my strong 8, and I must say that there are something for every kind of RPG gamer inside Pokemon. And if you're like me, you don't really see the cute side of the Pokemon, or you don't want to catch all of them, or you don't want to explore in the world, or don't want to go for the story. Yeah, well, leveling up your Pokemon, seeing them evolving, beating the gyms, creating your own team balance. There are so many aspects that are so good with the Pokemon series that comes through even better in this one, and the tools to help you do all this and develop the gameplay for you has been inserted by series and series. So this is the richest Pokemon experience there is out there. And even though I might not say that, whoa, Pokemon was the biggest game for me in a long time, because I must say that sometimes it just felt like I'm grinding, but it kept me doing that, and spending 40 to 50 hours on a game, on a portable game just like that, and just easily picking it up like this, I'd say that that is well worth your money for if you're going to play a game. So if you're looking for that sure bet game that you don't know what you want to get, you should take a look at Pokemon, because that's your fix. And if you're not super excited about it, pick it up in the bargain bin, because it's one of those games that you should have for your system. Strong 8 to Pokemon. I'll see you guys in the next Undertaker's review, both Ricky's review and Ricky's review retro. Next time it will not be in that case.